In exercise 5-23, we're going to be doing the top, front, and right side view just like we've been doing. And again, I'm gonna lay out where these views are going to go before I actually start drawing them. And this is metric, so we're going to grab the metric template. Now, rather than just drawing rectangles for the front view, I'm going to actually lay this view out a little bit. So we have a line across the bottom that is 100. That is going to go up 15, in 30, up 35. It'll then go across 40, down 20, and then I can just track to get the rest of this shape in place. So this is the overall size of the front view. Now I do have a cutout on here that is a 20 millimeter wide gap that is centered. So if the whole thing is 40, that means it's 10 on each side. So I can go ahead and lay that out now. So we'll come in from here 10, go down 15, go across 20, and then back up to the top. Now, since there's still geometry back here, this line still needs to take place because this groove does not go all the way through. Now, for laying out my top view, I don't have a corner point to pick from here, so I'm just going to draw a line and then draw another line off of that 25. At this point, I can go ahead and draw my rectangle that's going to represent this view, which is 100 by 50. I'm going to get rid of those couple construction lines now. And now I can lay out the rest of my top view. Now I know that there's holes in here, so off of this side, coming in 13, there is a hole that has a diameter of 20. And that hole is repeated on the other side. So now I can erase this, and then if I do another hole which is centered on this face with a diameter of 30, we'll go ahead and put this in. That gives us the location for the 3 holes, and then I can project from here up to get the location for this cutout. So now we have our 3 holes in and our cutout. Now we can move on to the right side view. And I'm going to start this by just laying out the rectangle, which is going to be 50 by 50. So in this case, we've got a square going on. So we have a visible line in this view, which is projected from here. This is also going to be projected, but this is going to be a hidden line. And now we have all the various holes that come down through, and I'm going to create a miter line to locate everything else on here. So we'll just use this intersection here, tab over 45, and now I can transfer all of the other information down. So from here, we're going to transfer this, and we'll start the line there and stop it there. That way I don't have to trim it. I can just delete the lines that I'm not using. And now we can erase these lines. And these hidden lines are going to represent both this hole and this hole because it goes all the way through. It's actually the bottom that would represent this one and the top right here that would represent this one. But since they overlap each other, we can just do it this way. So here we have the beginnings of how this is all represented. And now what I need to do is I need to kind of get this information in here. So I'm going to draw a line from here straight across. And then we will project this line, which is a hole that goes all the way through. And we need to project this line. But this one is only going to be starting at this location here because the top half of this hole is cut away. So when I erase these and make those hidden lines, this will make a little bit more sense. So let me trim out this and this. And erase this back line. Now I'm just going to use match properties, which is the little paintbrush icon, to match the properties for here, because it's a little bit easier. So now we've got this line here, which represents the back side of this hole, and then we've got this horizontal line right here, which is going to represent this flat surface right here. But now I need to extend this to where it would meet up with this and then go up from there. So to better explain that, if I project this point over and down, this lets us know how far this hidden line needs to actually go. So if I go to extend, and I just extend that line and then trim out the bottom piece of that, I can then trim out the top here and erase this. Now this line becomes a hidden line, and it represents this edge and this edge. So we'll use match properties to match these two up. So there we have all of the hidden lines and all of the hidden features for the right side view. The only thing left to do is to transfer the hidden lines from this view down to here so that I have everything represented here as well. So I'm just going to draw a line from here down and continue with locating all of the hidden lines for my circles or my holes. And then I'm just going to go back and trim these after I'm done. So I'll go to trim, and I'm going to select the cutting edges. And by selecting those as cutting edges, I can kind of just trim these all at once, except for the one that I drew separately, and I can just delete that. And I'll use match properties, which is MA enter. And that gives me all of my hidden lines. So in my front view, you can see that I've got the basic shape with the notch cut in the front, hidden lines representing each of the through holes, no hidden lines in my top view, and then in my front view, I've got hidden lines to represent the two smaller holes and the cutout in the front and the larger hole.